Liberty Films was already in danger of imminent collapse. Frank and his partners faced onerous tax laws and the slow box office returns that could cripple a small independent like Liberty.
Capra wanted to be what Harry Cohn was, so we had to have a company. But thank God Capra wasn't Harry Cohn. And as big as Capra is, he still needed the Harry Cohn. And that's the mystique of making motion pictures. It's not a one-man operation.
Hold it! 5 seconds!
Frank, still reeling from the disappointment of It's a Wonderful Life, decided to push forward with his next project.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to history.
State of the Union, adapted from a Pulitzer Prize-winning play, would be in many ways the last Frank Capra movie. Like the protagonists of many of his classic films, State of the Union concerned a hero's fall from grace. It was a subject and fear never far from Frank's own heart.
Funny world. I want you to be president, so I go back to New York and you tour the country with your wife.
Politics makes strange bedfellows.
It's about a guy, sort of a latter-day Ross Perot, if you will, who wants to be president for the wrong reasons, and then finally comes to his senses near the end of the film.
It's just a remarkable piece of work because it's so true to what the country's like, what was happening with television and the use of media at that time, which is really sort of prescient, really amazing.
This is Grant Matthews. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I can't take any more of this. Don't you shut me off, I'm paying for this broadcast.
Don't cut him off, give him a chance. It'll cost me my job.
Ladies and gentlemen,
make radio history. What's another
speech you just heard?
Frank Capra's passion for using movies to explore complex emotional and political ideas was being met with growing indifference by a country more interested in closing down political debate than exploring it.
I know this country. I know it inside out. I know all of its simmering hates. I know the petty warfare undermining our unity, and I think I know what causes it. It's fear. It's nothing but fear. Fear of the future, fear of the world, fear of communism.
The country becomes fragmented, and there's doubt. In the late 40s, early 50s, heavy paranoia, which is not part of that canon of work, you see. The mood changes. He needed like a unified public for his movies, and a unified public that we're all for the same thing. This is a great country. We're going to make it work. You know, after the war, it's not unified anymore.
The times were very difficult for everyone in the post-war period. The whole HUAC investigations, the blacklisting, and even people like Frank Capra, who presumably would not be someone anyone was worried about being a negative communist influence, was investigated.
The congressional watchdogs didn't like that film, so they decided that he was suspect somehow. To accuse him of bringing damage to the country that he loved was a very sad thing for him to see. Here's this guy who has shaped America's view of itself. All of a sudden, he's being suspected by the very government that he'd been working for during World War II, that he had trained hundreds of thousands of soldiers with his films. He was very outraged that this could happen. And it went away not with a bang, but with a whimper.
Charges were never officially brought against Frank, and the investigation was finally closed, but not without deeply scarring the man who had so fiercely loved and believed in his country.
And I think that something like that coming along contributes to pain and to disillusionment and to the lack of energy and commitment to the continuation of making a Frank Capra movie.
During the shooting of State of the Union, Liberty Films was finally sold to Paramount Pictures,